Hey everyone, and welcome to the last part of my soft shading tutorial. This time it's just clothing and the weapon that you see there. I'm not going to be talking too much during this one because everything is pretty much just the same thing over and over again. To shade the clothing, first thing you do obviously is for each section just fill it in with your preferred way. You can either do all of the base colors first on different layers or do each section one piece at a time. I do them one at a time, each on their own layer, obviously, and I completely finish that section of clothing and everything that is that color before I move on. So you just completely fill it in with your preferred way, shade it like you're coloring a cell shaded piece, and then begin to blend it out. Make sure that you have the transparent color button selected before you start to shade, or before you start to blend it out, so that you can get that good blending going there. And then again on almost all the pieces of the clothing, I'll explain a little more later why I don't do all the pieces of clothing with this. Only on the bigger sections I do this. You go through with the brush tool, very tiny, and with the transparent color selected, and along all the edges you basically erase the shading to create kind of that shine or that reflective light on the clothing. And again, to create that second layer of the color, just like with the skin or the hair, you can either duplicate the original layer and put it on multiply and then blend the colors out together and blend the colors together, or blend that darker color out, or you can make a new layer on its own and then just go through and do the whole shading process over again. It's up to you how you want to do it. It works both ways. To be completely honest, doing it duplicating the layer and then putting it on multiply is actually a little bit more lazy, but to be completely honest, I'm kind of a lazy person, so you kind of start to see that as I get closer to finishing this piece. I do get a little bit lazy with it, but that's just how I am. By the time I'm almost done, I don't know, I get a little bit lazy. And because these sections of the clothing were so small, I did not go through and do the whole reflective light thing on them, small pieces of clothing like that, there's no point really, because then you're basically erasing everything instead of just a small section, and it doesn't really look right. So I just, for a small section of clothing like that, I don't do that reflective light thing I do with the brush and erasing it. And here I do the reflective light only on the skirt. Something else that I do with clothing like this that's kind of flowy, I do the reflective light not only on the edges, I also do it in other sections where the shading kind of shows a fold, shows a, where the clothing is folding. I also do the reflective light thing there to kind of give it more of a shape. If you're going to do clothing that's white, if you don't have a colored background, which I usually don't work with, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depending, then usually what's good to do is to fill the area in with a actual color and then just change it to white after you get everything filled in. That way you can see, where your holes are and everything else like that. And the clothing is completely done, so now all that's left is the weapon to do. The weapon is, I did it pretty quickly. It's basically exactly the same as the clothing, with the using the brush tool and then blending it out, duplicating the layer, putting it on multiply, blending that out. It's exactly the same. Only I do not go through with I don't go through with the small brush tool to do that reflective light. I don't do that on the weapon. And also, to be completely honest, I am not good with metal. So basically, I do exactly the same thing that I do for the hair almost. I do the shading, then with the water tool, I make a lighter gradient. And then I use the brush tool for the shine. I'm just not good with metal. I need to work on it and look at references and stuff, but I'm just not good at it. I'm sure you can also sense my intense laziness at this point. As you can see, it's 1:22 a.m. I was not feeling it. Alright, and that completes this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed and I hoped it helped you. If it did and if you enjoyed it, please like or favorite the video so that I know. And please subscribe to see more.